So welcome everybody to today's interview, which we're conducting in the frame of our CESI Talks series. CESI Talk is part of a project which we called WEP24, which aims at raising awareness of our members, but also citizens at large for the upcoming European elections in 2024 and discuss with European stakeholders, let's say, the flaws and the benefits of the European Union. Today I have Malte Gallée with me, member of the European Parliament, member of the group of the Greens, EFA, and he is from Germany, a very young MEP, member among many, many others also of the so-called ENVI Committee on the Environment, Public Health and Food Safety. Malte, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Malte, you're a very young MEP. As I said, what measures do you think are necessary to encourage more young people to engage in sustainable practices, whatever this may mean, but take an active role, a more prominent active role in the green transition?
No. Well, in general, I think what is necessary is, of course, that there are the opportunities, that there are the options to, first of all, engage in the green transition, to take the train, to take the public transport, to not be reliant on the own car. You know, I come from a village with 28 inhabitants. There simply was no public transport, you know? I had no other choice than taking the car, starting with the age of 18, you know? So I think it's politics who has to make sure that young people can engage. And then the other question, of course, it's always the pricing. I mean, like, I think we have to do politics so that environmentally friendly behavior is always also like the cheapest behavior, that we internalize all the externalized costs, and like this, especially because young people are pretty price sensitive, like this, we would reach a lot.
I just coming from an event in Germany where the so-called excellence centers of education, of vocational education and training, were established. And if we look at, let's say, green education content or the sustainable organization of schools, how do you see the role of education in general in promoting sustainable development and in preparing young people for a greener future?
Well, I mean, education is completely crucial, of course, but I mean, like, not only for a greener future, but also for a more social future, and basically for creating the common identity of our people in Europe, basically. I mean, like, also exchanges are super important for us to create this European identity, and of course, equally important, it's the task of education systems to show that there are ways for young people to live on this planet in a sustainable way. And I mean, like, also, if we look into the whole topic of circular economy, I mean, like, we will need far more people here in Europe that know how to repair things, that know how to recover things, you know? So there's a big task coming up to the whole education system to prepare our youth to be a productive part in the future.
Yeah, very interesting. You've been also, as I could see, very vocal on the rights of consumers in this regard. And of course, if this helps also to contribute to sustainability policies, then even better. We are representing trade unions, and we're representing, of course, trade unions also who have affiliates in sectors which are quite, how could I say, energy intensive, which are, let's say, quite depending on fossil fuels from the automotive industry, for instance. What do you think? What should the EU prioritize in terms of policies in order to ensure that the Green Deal, it's some kind of a slogan, but I think for us it's a very important slogan, at least tries to leave no one behind?
You mean looking at industries?
Yes.
Well, first thing, of course, I think it's pretty clear that we have to stop all fossil fuel projects as fast as we can if we want to slow down the climate crisis. I mean, like, if we look at developments just in the last months, like the growth rate is exponential of the CO2 in the atmosphere. So it's really time to act now. And I think this is the main thing we should always focus on. So what do we need to create energy security still? We need transmission networks. We need to make sure that we can save the energy, that we can store the energy from Spain in, I don't know, Sweden or something, you know, like we have to really connect to build up a European network of renewable energies so that we can ensure the stable energy supply. And of course, we need far more wind, we need far more solar investments. And yeah, we need to make sure that these projects are not blocked by false arguments of environmental protection, which often comes to our ears right now as well.
Malte, you also have been a shadow rapporteur for an opinion of the IMCO committee on the so-called revision of the corporate sustainability due diligence directive. Is this, so it's about, let's say, making sure that in supply chains and value creation and value chains, environmental standards and social standards are being considered, which we, of course, as trade unions fully support. But is this, if we look at the general geopolitical, socio-economic situation of supply chains, bottlenecks, of maybe critical raw material shortages, etc., is this a realistic aim at this very moment to strengthen that strand for the European Union?
No, of course. I mean, like what we are trying with the Corporate Social Due Diligence Directive. I mean, it's. I think it's no revision. It came up completely new, so it's a novum. And I mean, like what we are trying to do is to basically make it impossible to harm human rights or the environment outside of Europe if you're a company active in Europe. And I mean, like this is basically a kind of investment that totally pays off because we are just starting to internalize the externalized costs. You know, a cheap trouser for, I don't know, €4 is not cheap. It's just really harmful to somebody else in the world. And I think this is not something that can count as an argument to say, no, you know, we have to continue exploiting because here at this very moment, energy prices are high or whatever. This is just a kind of investment in our future, what I think will also boost the European industry, since, I mean, like what we're having, the situation we're having right now is basically no level playing field. You know, there are those who exploit, and those have an advantage over those who don't exploit. So this means if we make sure that nobody exploits, those who don't exploit, they have a better advantage afterwards. So I think industry and all the businesses in Europe, they have a huge opportunity with this Corporate Social Due Diligence Directive to really show their good work.
Malte, many thanks. Maybe last question. Next year, European elections, what would be your core messages to the citizens, to the workers?
My core message would be that Europe is far more important and far more powerful than we always think. What we often take the achievements of the Union as granted, but they are not. We have to stand up. We have to go and vote democratic parties to make sure that our European identity will strengthen, and that all of us will step forward and not backwards, as so many forces in Europe at the moment are trying.
Thank you very much, Malte. All the best to you also for the upcoming elections. Thank you for your time and for the interview.
Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.